see you, buddy. I just saw you a couple days ago.
Yes.
And we had the talk. Jelly had on a necklace, and he was like, when I wear this, I've won an award every time. It was like his good luck. And he won an award.
That's a true story.
He was like, the one time I didn't. So he wore it again.
That's it. That's a true story.
Will you tell him that story?
I should have wore it today. I have the rosary cross necklace that I wore at the CMAs. I had kind of made just for that. And it's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful piece by Icebox. And I didn't wear it to the Grammys because I was like, I just wore it to the CMAs. I don't, look like I only have one piece of jewelry. And then I went and lost. So when I went to the iHeartRadio Awards, I was like, I'm wearing the necklace for sure. And I wore the necklace and won. So I was like, oh, I'm definitely wearing it to the CMTs. And I wore it to the CMTs and won. So when I was talking to my stylist, she was like, what jewelry are you going to wear? I was like, we know what jewelry I'm wearing for sure. Until I lose, we're putting on the necklace, man.
And then you won.
Yeah, then we won.
Oh, what a night.
Crazy.
Do you feel the pressure now to get up and give this amazing, super uplifting speech every time? Because you've basically done that every single award. But now, I don't know if there's an expectation, but people are like craving that from you.
Yeah, it's crazy. I haven't thought of it much because I still don't expect to win. Especially like the ACM and CMAs, man, that was real big for me because they're peer voted. You know what I mean? And me being kind of still relatively new to the scene, I never expected it. But the Save Me one was an easy one, though, man. That song changed my life. I mean, that song, it's so funny. As a songwriter, I immediately go back to the emotion in which I had when I wrote the song. So it was so easy to tap into that. And Lainey set me up, too, man. She hyped it up. So I was like, oh, man, I got to say something cool now, God.
Talk about going into if it was a room or wherever you wrote "Save Me," because again, that's a pretty vulnerable situation to share with anyone, much less create around it. Like, what was that about? I want to talk about this so bad. Thank you for asking. I was so emotional that night because this story has so many layers to it. I'm in a room with just me and a guy that I've known since high school. He's a painter. He was an old drug dealer turned paints houses. Just blue-collar dude, and, of course, I'm a reformed drug dealer. And we're just never thought we'd be hit songwriters. We didn't know much about the guitar. That's why the chord structure is just like this super da-da-da-da-da-da. We were two dudes that could hardly trick a campfire of kids that we were good guitar players. And we just poured out of me this song and just this painfulness. And then I uploaded it on YouTube, and I was so scared, Bobby, that I commented under my own YouTube video and said, a little different for me. Let me know what y'all think and if it should make the album. I meant that. And, of course, the record went on to go platinum a couple of times. Every record label on earth called me. Y'all know the story. I ended up signing a record deal. Lainey Wilson gets on the song. Then it goes #1 at radio. Do you think, is that the song that really transformed what people, what their understanding of you was?
This is it. This song is, there's a Malcolm Gladwell book called The Tipping Point. Save Me was my tipping point. Like, for sure, it was that moment for me. So... And then you circle back around, and when it's time to put Lainey on the record and produce the record, I call a guy named Zach Crowell who sold me $100 beats when we were teenagers back in the day. So, like, the full circle of this record and just how Nashville and homegrown it is, it's just unreal, man. I think, and I was worried, Bobby. The ACM was the last time that the album cycle of Wits at Chapel would have been voted for. So if Save Me didn't win that night, I feel like that song would have never got what I feel like it deserved.
Who in this town, artist-wise, do you feel like really embraced you early on before everybody started to understand what you were about? Because you don't look like very many country artists, I'll be honest with you. The face tattoos, you look like a hip-hop guy. Right. Now you don't, and now you look like us, except with much cooler face tattoos.
Right.
But I mean, maybe there was an understanding, because I'd listened to your music before, and that probably affected what I thought about you too, because I knew you as a rapper. Yeah. Who was the first artist in town that really gave you the, I get it and I respect it and I want to be here along for the ride?
I was lucky that me and Ernest were really good friends, so I kind of walked right into that Big Loud group. So I walked right into Morgan and Hardy, and this was right before Morgan became the monster he is, like right before Morgan became the biggest artist on earth. So it was just perfect timing for me that I fell right into the Degenerates. You know what I mean? Like, I fell right in there. The people that reached out immediately that were cool were like Keith Urban. Was one of the first people that talked about me publicly in a really, really, really cool way. Riley Green. Dude, I feel like I've been talking to Riley Green forever. You know what I mean? Cody Johnson. And that was real important for me for guys like when Cody Johnson and Riley Green liked me, I was like, let somebody tell me I'm not country. This is a bull riding cowboy and a guy who would rather shoot a duck than do a show in front of 15,000 people. You know what I'm saying?
You ever think about, because you have a lot of really cool jewelry. You ever think about buying like dupes, fake versions of what you already have, so in case you do lose one of them, like you still get the jewelry, you still have the jewelry, but if you lose one, it's not that big of a deal?
Oh, yeah, for sure. My people turned me on to this trick, and it's the greatest trick ever. They also taught me now I don't really buy real jewelry no more. Nobody would know the difference. Everybody would just assume it was real.
And if people think you already have resources and rich, they especially assume it's real.
Yeah.
Dang.
So would they be disappointed one day if they're like...
They gonna praise it on them or what?
I don't know if they like get it and then they go try to do something like, well, dang, this is...
I see Amy at the CMAs now. She's running up on me with a diamond tester and a
got one
video
of
crew.
those,
No, I don't care. I'm just saying, like, if someone were to think they got something from you and then
Next thing you know, I'm on Watchbusters.
I saw the clip of you and Fred Durst and Limp Bizkit, and I thought that was personally freaking awesome.
I lost my mind.
How did that come together, and what did that feel like on stage with, like, Limp Bizkit's legendary to us?
It was so cool. Fred hit me and was like, hey, man, why don't you come sing Behind Blue Eyes? And I was like, are you? No way. He said, I think he said, do you want to sing with us? And I was like, of course. And I didn't know. I didn't care what he said. I would have sung break stuff. Me and you talked about this. I would have came out and sung Nookie, Rollin'. He could have picked any song from the catalog. I'd have sung it. He was like, Behind Blue Eyes. And I was like, oh, what a moment. And then we went, the coolest moment I had was me, him, and DJ Lethal rehearsed it, just us three. They like played the track and we sung it like,
man.
And it's just me, Freddie D, and DJ Lethal from House of Pain. You know what I'm saying? In this room, just the three of us running through this song together. And the kid in me is like crawling out. Like everything about 1998 Jelly Roll wanted to just start kicking speakers. You know what I mean?
What's Fred Durst like?
The most down-to-earth, clear-eyed dude I've ever talked to. Like, loving. Like, I'm a big touchy-feely kind of guy, and he is too. So there was moments I thought we were going to wrestle. You know what I'm saying? We were kind of elbowing each other. We started rapping a little bit. It was really cool, man.
Lana Del Rey. She invited you. Yeah.
Man.
So where did that come from, and how did that experience? Because I haven't seen the clips. I just saw the headline. But you and I had talked about you were going to go do it.
If you want to talk about a wild Friday night for me, I just won New Artist of the Year. I mean, I just won Collab of the Year with Laney. I celebrated the ACM after party. I won't give you too many details, but I can end it by saying me and Kane Brown versus Jason Aldean and Post Malone in like to the death beer pong. Like just a credible night. I wake up and I go do Kid Rock's Rockin' Rodeo.
Saw that too.
Which was so cool.
You guys did Cowboy.
Yes. We did Cowboy together. Yeah. We spit bars back and forth, old school rap style. We jumped out of a cyber truck that was wrapped like the General Lee with John Snyder driving it. This is how unreal
From
my
Dukes
life is right now.
Yeah.
Blonde guy. Dude. And then I get on a plane and I fly to do Hangout Fest with Lana, and we ended her set together doing Sweet Home Alabama. And the cool thing was she hit me and was like, would you come sing with me at Hangout Fest? And I was like, God, I would love to. She's like, what do you think we should do? And I was just kind of like spitballing. And I'm thinking like she's obviously a pop culture artist and I'm a country artist, but I'm like, I don't care who's in front of that stage. Leonard Skinner's going to go. This is Alabama.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like we should do some Skinner. And she was like, let's do Sweet Home Alabama. And I was like, hell yeah. And she's so sweet. I met her at Stagecoach. She's a huge fan of like country music and the spirit of country music. And her songwriting is always kind of catered to that style anyways.
We listened to a lot of her in the house, but even like her Take Me Home Country Roads, the John Denver cover she did, super cool. Your tour, Beautifully Broken, you're at it. And it's like touring, like rock star touring.
Yes, sir. Not
Friday, Saturday, come home. Like you're giving the people lots of shows. It starts August 27th. That's a Tuesday. And people don't do Tuesday shows, but it's really great that you're going out and you're getting to do as many of these places as possible. Were you part of the routing where you had to pick the cities when you go, or do you let them present that to you?
I just kind of explained to them what my vision is, but I let them present it. I've learned from that. But for me, routing is about, one, I think we're going to add a bunch of dates onto this because that tour is about 95% sold out. So I think we're going to add some dates. But I love rock and roll style touring, Bobby, and this might be too inside baseball, but we talk about stuff like this on this show. I want to sit down and have a seminar with artists in town and sales pitch them on why they're doing it wrong, right? We're renting buses for 52 weeks a year. We're renting production, trailer trucks for 52 weeks a year, lights, video screens. We're paying people for 52 weeks a year, salary caps, and it don't make any sense. Go out. I'm only going to rent my bus and all these trucks and trailers for these 10 weeks. That's it. I'll have a couple of rigs that'll fly for the one-off like festival dates that make sense, but it's just economically it makes more sense to go do it this way. And I know when I was a fan of music and they gave me remember back when they announced tours a year before?
Yeah.
We looked forward to taking off school or work to go to a concert. Like, it was something we planned on. We were like, oh, not only is Leonard Skinner coming, they're doing the amphitheater on a Thursday. We're taking off Friday. You know what I'm saying? Immediately, it was that kind of blue-collar mentality. I love that rock and roll style tour, man.
Financially, it makes sense because you're saying you rent a bus for 52 weeks, but you use it for 2 days a week. When you could rent it for 12 weeks and use it for 5 nights a week, but you're only paying for 12 weeks of use instead of 52.
And I didn't go to school or nothing.
You know who show he should be on?
Yeah.
Dave Ramsey. He should hop in with Dave Ramsey.
I didn't go to school or nothing, y'all. I'm not trained in this or anything. Don't take my advice. But I'm just telling y'all.
Does anyone ever, like at any of these big shows or award shows or anything fancy, they ever call you Mr. Roll because they don't know what to call you and they have to give you
I get a Mr. Roll a lot more than I ever thought I get a lot of Mr. Rolls, man. It's pretty awkward.
But if they're just trying to be respectful, like what are they?
Yeah.
Sir, I mean, yeah, I guess it's like you would just say Mr. Unless they were to like Google your real name, but that would also feel weird.
And it almost sounds like mistletoe when they say it really fast. You know what I'm saying? It's just awkward.
What's the difference in this tour and your previous tours? Like, what have you tried to elevate?
The production. Yeah, but I've never done a full arena tour. I've always done arena, amphitheater, mixed tours. So I was always limited to the kind of this particular stage size and design. And for this one, man, I am really going all out.
Economically, do you go, man, I'm paying a lot for like pops and booms?
Yeah.
I mean, are you like...
Yeah, well, my thing is this, though, is that's an investment in the show, right? Like, I don't really care. I'll be okay. I own my masters. God's blessed me. I make money on tour, but I tour to continue to build. For me, it's more like the old tent revival style touring. Anyways, we're just trying to bring the music to the people, man. I want to put on the best show. You remember, I'm the same guy that played the Ryman Auditorium and built a trailer park. On the stage at the Ryman Auditorium, I spent $120,000 putting that show on and made 40.
That was more than the trailer I lived in the trailer park that I lived in.
Dude, I'm telling you, dude, I had the biggest production. I put a car on stage at the Ryman Auditorium because it meant so much to me to do the Ryman the first time. I didn't care how much money I spent. I wanted to make sure the 2,400 people in there left like, what the f*** happened?
I have 3 final questions for you. On your rider, give us a few interesting things that you have when you go somewhere that just makes you comfortable so you'd like it whenever you arrive at the venue.
I've been getting a lot of heat for this recently. You might have seen the headline. But I only wear a pair of socks once. So I have new socks, new boxers, and new T-shirts on show days. So on show days, I take it to the next level, and I wear new boxers, new T-shirt every show day. And it's cool because you just get it the next city on the rider anyway, so you just throw them away.
You got heat for okay? Because I get socks at every show because I'd be like, man, I just want to make sure I have socks and a toothbrush there.
I got heat because they asked me what my most frivolous expense was, and I said I buy 365 pair of socks a year. You know what I'm saying?
When did that start for you, though? Like, when did you start?
Years ago. That's what's even worse. My wife put me on double blast and was like, he does this with T-shirts, too, because I don't wear a lot of T-shirts twice. And she's like, he's done it since we were poor. I believe fat people can't be fat and stinky. You know what I mean? I can't have stinky feet. I can't run around here with stinky tinks.
Do you have any of? Do you ever keep any memorabilia like that? Because if you cut that up, put on a card, a Jelly Roll signed card, game worn shirt.
Right.
Right. You don't have to wear it again, but you can put that out there, like tops, Jelly Roll, game worn shirt clips.
This you could see my salt ring around the navel from where I sweat through it.
Do you have any of the old poems you wrote as a kid? Do you have any of those?
No, I wish.
Man, that'd be cool.
I feel so bad that I don't even have any pictures from that era. Like, I grew up in the 80s. If I see there's like a 10-year stretch where I don't see a picture of me at all.
There's a stretch where all of my pictures say proof on it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's every picture that I had for like 4 or 5 years.
They never actually bought them.
Never bought them. It just me. It said proof on it.
They would send the 5 sizes with proof on each one. Your family would just keep them, and they would frame them.
Yep, that was it.
You were as white trash as I
always thought.
But
that was it. We got a whole section of
awesome.
the proof years. Okay, final 2. Are you constantly?
That's sad, Bobby.
That's normal. That was just
no. I get it. I relate.
Yeah, that's like
that.
first grade through 7th. Yeah. The proof year is what we call them. Are you constantly filming because you're putting together another something? Yeah.
I'm filming too because I just I think about we look back now at, if this thing keeps going this way, man, I just want to own the footage. You know what I mean? They made a documentary about me before the career started, it felt like, you know. They ever come back around, I want to know that we got hours and hours of footage.
You ever think about doing any acting?
Love it. Talking to somebody right now about doing a TV show. It's really cool. I'm actually like having real conversations about being a part of a TV show. I'm doing like 3 episodes.
Comedy, serious? What would you like to do?
It's more of a serious show. I'd like to do something more comedy though. Yeah. I think my music's so serious. But as a person, I'm a little more jovial, so I'd like to lean into that. I love comedy in general.
Oh, is it a new concept show, or it's a show that's existing and
it's a show that exists? I just can't say it on this show.
Everybody loves Raymond.
I'll bring it here.
Ooh,
I'll bring it here first.
Okay, we appreciate that.
Yeah.
Friends.
Yeah.
No, it exists.
They superimpose him into like some old Hulu episodes. Okay, the Beautifully Broken Tour, 37 dates as of now. More will be added, we're sure. Tuesday, August 27th, it starts. You can go over to Jelly Rolls Anything, and it's all up there. I encourage you guys to go. It's such a, it's like your shows are like going to church.
Yes.
But I even said that with the music, because church now has a lot of great music too. So it's not even like church with the music. It's like it's like going to church.
That's it.
But like the songs from like the radio.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
My wife said it one time. I came off stage and she said, "Man, that was like church. This was 7-8 years ago. We were playing a 200-cap room in Kansas City." And I said, "Baby, I don't know if I like that reference." And she'll never forget, she said, "This is the closest thing to church some of those people will ever come to. People heard God's name tonight in a way they've never heard it in their household ever because of this concert." She's like, "You're church for people who don't even know church is there." And ever since then, I've leaned into it.
Jelly Roll, love you, buddy.
Love you, Bubba. Thanks for having me back.
At Jelly Roll 615 Instagram. Go check out the tour. He doesn't even need you. He's already almost sold out, but he'd love you. He'd love to have you.
Come on.
He'd love to have you. He'd love to have you.
Come on, come all. Big, tall, small, pick 'em.
Big, tall, small.
Pick 'em.
Pick 'em. Come on, baby.
All right, Jelly Roll, everybody. Nice show.
Yeah.